drivers that took time, all of them within 3.5 tenths of each other tonight is going to be a very closely competitive race.
As the field worked its way out of the 3-4 complex, the only thing that's left to say is wipe the visor, adjust the 5-point safety harness, because race fans, it's showtime!
Amazing looking cars already. Green flag will fly.
Oh, the racket! Well, one thing that you're going to see at this track that we haven't seen the last few weeks is a surface that's multi-group. I think this is the first multi-group surface we're going to have.
After an amazing race at Daytona, we now come to the West Coast and Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California for the second round of the Way She Goes Racing League Cup Series.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the iFL1 iFormula League. We are here in Belgium at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps for the Belgian Grand Prix. This is round 8, I believe, of the iFL1 series, and qualifying is just finishing up at the moment, so just after that we'll be able to get you the grid for today. And once again, I'm joined by Tony Trapasso. Good to have you back.
Yeah, you know, as a Yank that normally doesn't follow Formula One, this league is some of the best racing that I have seen in the open wheel format.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really great, great racing normally here, and a pretty good turnout as well. And as the warm-up session has just started, I should be able to grab the results up for you now of qualifying. Jeremy Shipley started on pole. Is going to start, sorry, on pole position with Igor Filipic alongside him. Shipley setting a very quick time. 6.5 tenths in front of Filipic there. Vans is going to be starting out on the left-hand side. Left? Right, probably. I don't know. Either side of row 2 with Jakub Miewski alongside him. Then in 5th we're going to have Rodrigo Miranda. Then it's going to be Ron Korolak, Nicholas Morelli and Alexander Shanna. Then Troy Banks and Jacob Beezer rounding out your top 10 to start.
Christian Gruel is going to roll off in 11th. Demarius Hickenbottom is going to start in 12th position. Last car to post time in qualifying is going to be Nolan Hodgson, as he's going to start 13th. And Anthony Benitez should be starting 14th, though I haven't seen him on track yet.
Yeah, we'll see whether he's actually racing or just has joined the race as race control or something. I'm not entirely sure on that one. We will have to wait and see. It's not going to be long until we see that. But while they are having this warm-up before the race, let's have a look at the Drivers' Championship now. Igor Filipic with a very commanding lead after Monza round 7, not last week but the week before. He's on 124 points at the top, and then Thomas Vans decent way back on 85 points. Jeremy Shipley is only 11 points behind that. Sorry, I can do maths, trust me. He is on 74, and we've got Daniel Diaz in 4th on 55, and Jakub Miewski rounds out your top 5 on 50 points. The rest going down there.
Yeah, you have the same problem I do with math, Jason.
Yeah.
It's when you have to take your shoes off to count past 10.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
well.
it's all in good fun. You know, at least you don't have to deal with Common Core math over there like we do over here in the States right now.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is.
It is the most convoluted way to solve a math problem that even if you get the question wrong, you get scored correctly on it. As long as you know how to prove that 2 + 2 is 7.
Okay, right. That's a bit strange. Moving on from that, let's have a look at the team standings. We have Pleb Racing up at the top. They with 178 points. So those are the points added together of Igor Filipic and Jakub Mijewski, and I believe Alyssa Long subbed in for one round as well. Then we've got Belford Racing on 119. Oregon Motorsports and DriveX Esports both on 97 points. So that's going to be an interesting one to follow, with Raspberries Racing rounding out the top 5 on 70. Though I haven't seen either of those, either of their drivers for quite a while. That's Caitlin Height and, back at the Drivers' Championship here, Christina Ryan were the drivers
they've
for those.
been missing since the US round.
Yeah, we've unfortunately had quite a few drivers missing that were doing quite well at the start. Notably, Avon Haugland, who was basically one of the only contenders for Filipic early season. But we've had a few drivers step up to his level now as well, so that is good to see. But just 20 more seconds left on this warm-up, and then we can get into this 44-lap race, I believe it is.
That's what the iRacing math works out to, is 44 laps.
Lovely.
There does need to be at least one compound swap during this event. So
Yep.
that's going to be something to be mindful of. And those are the only real sticklers that they're putting as far as rules go.
Yes, actually, if I remember correctly, I read on their Discord that there is a new rule. So we had the rule before of that you are allowed to return to garage so long as you don't use your fast repair. Now I believe that's been changed that you're not allowed to return to garage at all, and if you do, you can't come back out during a race. Definitely the more realistic way of going about it.
You actually have to drive the car back to pit road to be able to use your quick repair, yes.
Yeah. Exactly that.
Just waiting on a couple of last-minute stragglers to grid up here as we're getting ready to turn these kids loose.
Yep, those lights are going to come on any second. There they are. Lights coming on, all 5 of them, green flag in the air, and here we go. There's a bit of kerfuffle in the background. That is a brilliant start from Thomas Varnes. Oh, Jeremy Shipley losing it under braking straight into Thomas Varnes. That's going to hold up someone else with them. That's Alexander Shanna as well. And that's brought out the safety car immediately after that one. I think Shipley just lost it under braking.
That's exactly what that looked like. Is Shipley just... He tried to send it, and unfortunately... just the rears locked up on him and snap see ya bye, around she goes.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Just had a replay from the onboard camera.
Varnes and Shanna both catching a piece of that one.
Yeah, and Varnes actually had a brilliant start.
Yeah, if we can pull that back up, that was...
Yeah.
I mean, he was dead on it.
Perfect getaway immediately up the inside of Shipley. Just a unfortunate lock-up under braking, and well, that's what happens. I believe they can all drive it back to the pit lane, so they'll be able to use their fast repair if they want to, but probably just going to be a front wing change for the rest of them, and they might as well take tyres as well at that point.
Well, the question is, with the safety car coming out like this, is the tire change going to count right this second?
Oh yeah, it does, but if you're coming in a lap 1, you might not even want to go to the end on them anyway, because I'm not sure how long the hard tyres last, but that first lap incident then putting Filipich right up into the lead with Rodrigo Miranda in second, a big winner out of all that. Troy Banks up 6 positions from where he started. He must have had a great start as well then.
He did, and he was able to avoid the carnage.
Take a
And
look at
that was the key there.
Yes, you can see Banks there getting round a few drivers. Yeah, just slipping right on up the inside of the carnage, and then yellow flag gets called out round about here, with him sitting in 3rd place.
And something to take note of, he was one of only 3 drivers to start on the hards here tonight. Nicholas Morelli and Demarius Hickenbottom both starting on the softs, everybody else on the mediums.
Yeah, it's unfortunately, I think, for those hard compound runners, they're not going to have fun on this restart. Well, no one's going to have fun on this restart, but especially those hard compound runners, because they're going to have even less than 0 heat. Or actually, is that the other way around?
Why did Barnes and Shipley both blow past pit in?
Pit lane might be closed. I think that's an iRacing thing.
Fair enough.
Either way,
I'm not used to these long road courses with a full course caution.
Yeah. If you pit at the end of this, I think you're still going to come out where you would have done anyway. So.
Right. You know, the more I look at the 12 of Arms, the worse that car looks. I mean, the entire floor of that car is just annihilated.
Yeah, I'd love to get a camera angle to see the left side of it. I've only seen the right side, so... The left is where he was hit, obviously losing front wing as well. That's the most obvious damage.
TV2.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not looking healthy at all right now.
Not a happy car. Not a happy car at all. But I believe, actually, this is the first caution we've had, the first full course yellow safety car period we've had since the round at Interlagos, the Brazilian Grand Prix.
Why does that statement not surprise me?
Yeah. Unfortunately, the restarts on that one were interesting, to say the least. Turns out when you're driving these at 60 miles an hour around a track, you'd have no tyre temperature at all. Who would have guessed?
Go figure.
And,
but yeah, those guys that elected to go on the hards, they're in deep trouble right now.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised to see people weaving like absolute crazy. As Nolan Hodson likes to come into the pits as well.
He did
Lights
catch
are
a
out,
piece
so
of that. He
yeah,
did catch
lights
a
are
huge
out,
piece
so
of it. But
we will be going in 4 minutes' time, because apparently a safety car lap around here takes 4 minutes and 20 seconds.
Well, that's convenient, considering that the pit stops normally take about 4 seconds. pit
Yeah,
roll
look, no.
delta's looking to be about 32 seconds today.
Yeah, those guys that came into the pits are already out the pits and on the back of the train.
And like you suggested, Shanna and Shipley both electing to go onto the hards as they just brought those out of the oven. The only problem is they're going to be ice cold, and call the pizza company, tell them you want a new slice sent to your house. That's how cold this stuff's going to be when they do turn these guys back loose.
Yeah, I mean, normally you wouldn't want to be putting your hands anywhere near these tyres, but I think with how slowly they're going, you could probably sufficiently touch the tyres.
Shanna doing everything he can to try to maintain some sort of heat into those white walls.
Yeah.
I mean, I've not seen aggressive weaving like that, except for the last time I played Drunk Bingo, and we were at Snetterton.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you have to do to try and get any heat in the tyres, and yeah, F1 drivers have been complaining in real life about the safety car being too slow. Try this.
Yeah, no, I don't think I could handle being out on track right now.
No. I mean, the real life safety car is probably about GT4 car pace going full pelt. That would be a lap time about 2 minutes
You're not
30.
wrong. You're not wrong. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean the real world pace car does try to hustle it. And when they set up this session, I don't think they set the pace car speed limit anywhere near where it really needed to be.
I don't think you can. Is that an option?
I thought you could, but it's been
'Cause I
so long
thought it
since
was
I've had
per
to set up a
track.
session myself that.
Because I remember having a conversation with Alexander Shanna about this. And it was just one of those things where there's not much you can do, I think.
Fair enough.
Just sort of how it is, and they have to go even slower to let the safety car get away so that they can have a restart. Which is what Igor Filipic is doing right now.
Everybody trying to get some heat into those Pirellis, and I think we're about to see another safety car, Jason. Unfortunately, I think we're about to see one.
Yeah, I have the same idea as well. Hopefully they can all keep it in the correct direction. But it's going to be tough out there for them. The tyres are ice cold. It's going to be really, really dangerous. But hopefully
the guys that
we
are on
will
the
see.
Reds may have guessed right.
Yeah. Hopefully we will see a decent restart as Igor Filipic has gone out of the bus stop chicane. A massive wiggle of oversteer already, as there is a lights graphic on, and Jakub Miewski is trying to go down the inside of Nicholas Morelli, and he's spun under braking, has Morelli. That was only expected with some of these cold tyres, and double spins there for, who's that? That's Biza and Ron Korolak, I believe. No, not Korolak. Yes, Korolak, but Biza's not managed to get going. Korolak has. That's going to put Jacob Biza out the race, and Jakub Miewski now trying to make up more positions. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
That's what's going to happen.
Somebody just biffed at the top of Radion, too. That was Gruel.
Yeah.
Oy,
take a look at
me.
that once everything calms down a bit more. Looks like Ron Korolak's had an off as well. He's jumped it back to the pits.
And he's torn the right side completely off that car.
Oh, there's another spin. That's Shanna. Vaughn's having to take avoiding action. Is Shanna going to keep it out the wall? Doesn't look like he kept it out of the wall, but it's still got all 4 wheels on. So that's a positive at least.
Oh, looks like he did keep it out of the wall.
Oh. Well, fair enough if he did. But looking here now at Thomas Vaughn's on the back. Am I wrong? No, I'm not wrong. Thomas Vaughn's on the back of Nolan Hodson. Vaughn's getting around with a fairly simple move around the outside. Lovely stuff from him. And Jeremy Shipley is now able to be right on the back of him as well. And everyone gets it right through turn 1 this time around. Not gonna.
Well, by now they've had a little bit of heat in the tires.
Yeah. No DRS this time around, I believe. Yep, that's going to be coming next lap. And just not close enough. Watson actually losing quite... no, sorry, Shipley losing quite badly down the straight. Not sure whether that's damage from the earlier incident or what, but he's done well through last set of corners that I forgot the name of for some reason. Now he's alongside Nolan Hodson. They've managed to keep it side by side through Brixell, coming through no name. Shipley is just behind, not going to be able to make a move.
They did touch tires just before no name.
And they're going to be side by side again. And that is going to be move completed through campus. Lovely stuff. Great overtake from Shipley.
Who says there's no passing in Formula 1?
Speaking of passing in Formula 1,
yeah.
Vaughn's on Hickenbottom. Here we go. Side by side into the bus stop. Able to get it done just in the braking zone. Able to both turn in single file. Lovely stuff from Thomas Vaughn's. Back up into 6th place.
I mean, Varnes has had pace all day. Like, during the hot lap session, he had pace. He had good pace in qualifying. Just got edged out for the front row. And then got an amazing start that went all for naught as soon as they got to turn 1. So, I dare say Thomas Varnes is driving, pardon my French, ladies and gentlemen, but he's driving pissed off.
Yeah, certainly feels like it, as Jeremy Shipley just catching up to the back of Hickenbottom there with DRS along that long Camel straight. And we'll see what he can do during this midsection of the lap. It's not really normally an overtaking opportunity, but if you have ultimate pace over the driver in front of you, you can make quite a few corners work here. So we'll see where that happens.
What's it say about the drivers, considering that Hickenbottom's on the reds, and Shipley's on the whites?
Oh, here we go. Shipley sweeping around the outside. He's done that move twice now. Did that on Hodson last time around, I think.
Yes, he did.
Going through 13 and 14, sweeping around the outside. So that's going to be his favourite move of the day, I think.
Why is it every time you say that, I keep thinking of the Eminem verse of two trailer park girls go round the outside, round the outside. That's what we're going to call that move from now on. It's going to be called getting trailer parked.
Yeah, why not? And Jacob Beezer is actually out the pits, so I don't think he got the memo.
No, but he soon will.
Yeah, someone will force him to get the memo. I'm sure there's going to be some race control watching.
He'll be DQ'd post-event, I'm sure.
Yeah. Hodson now is catching up to Hickenbottom along the straight. Not quite going to make a move into Lacon, thought better of it. But had a bit of a look down the inside.
Shipley's starting to give a little bit of pressure to Varnes as well. Just hanging right there with him. Even though Varnes is on the yellows, Shipley on the hards. Shipley's not letting Varnes get away, and that's very impressive.
Yeah, he's just sticking onto the back of Varnes very well, probably trying to make an overtake at some point soon as well, but going to keep following Hodson and Hickenbottom for now. We'll see what happens here. I believe those are the two teammates. Yep, those liveries are exactly the same. So yeah, they are two teammates for turning point, I believe.
I have no idea.
I'll have to see if I can source an updated driver graphic to see which teams they're in. Had one at the start of the season, so had a few more drivers come into the league since then, joined teams, so I have to see if I can source another one. But Shipley's just fallen outside the DRS range, so he's not going to be able to have that pull down the Kemmel Straight, but Nolan Hodson absolutely will. Let's have a look from a T-cam. You can see there those four lights on the four green lights on the dash indicating DRS is being used.
Warren's starting to apply some pressure to Morelli right now.
Let's jump forward and have a look at that then. As yeah, Varnes now within DRS of Morelli, Shipley within DRS of Varnes, so we're going to get a bit of a train going here. Not quite the train that was seen in the real life race earlier today.
Don't ruin it. Some of us haven't seen it yet.
I will not ruin it, but there was a train.
Hopefully it was a freight train that hit Lewis Hamilton in the face.
Not a Hamilton fan, I gather.
I can't
Morelli.
stand anybody that enjoys Justin Bieber.
Morelli had a terrible bus stop, and now Varnes is alongside. Forced to the left though for a right-hander. Wiggle from Morelli out of La Source. Are they going to be side by side through Eau Rouge Radion? Varnes could have got alongside, but thought better of it. Very smart indeed, as he can just wait for the Kemmel Straight where he's going to have DRS. But look at Shipley, he is directly behind him, and is going to be probably trying to make a move here as well, but not able to get up to the back of Thomas Varnes, as they both had the DRS there. And Hodson managing to get past Hickenbottom as well on the same straight.
The reason why we're showing this battle for 5th, 6th, and 7th, this is your closest battle on track, folks. Everybody else is more than 2 seconds apart.
Yeah, tends to be how it goes, unfortunately, with these cars, with the downforce produced, the aerodynamics. It's very difficult to follow, but I believe we have been promised this year's Formula One car from Mercedes as well. That was part of the deal they had with iRacing, so
Well, now we know
we'll be
what our
seeing that at
Christmas
some
gift
point.
is going to be this year.
Yeah. Seeing that when it comes out.
Yeah.
And hopefully they've got it simulated well for that one as well, where they can follow closer as well.
I'm glad to see they decided to get with the times and go back to the underbody arrow.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, it's not as dramatic as we saw 78, 79, and 80, but it still improves the followability that these cars have.
Yeah, absolutely. What Spur Loco in the chat? Nobody wants this year's Mercedes. Well, it's still an F1 car. We'll give it that.
He's just salty. Mercedes doesn't want this year's. Wow.
Well, to be honest, they might want this car back, but I don't know. I'm not Toto Wolff. I don't make the decisions. But now that everything's settled down a bit, why don't we have a look back a few laps and see how Groyle and Korolak departed from this race. Oh dear, that's a massive accident for Groyle.
Yes. Wait till you see Korolak.
Oh. That is a weird place to lose it, to be honest, on the exit. You normally lose it on turn-in.
You see more GT cars do that than you do Formula One cars.
Yeah. Definitely a fair assessment. As well, we're looking at Vance and Shipley have gone up to the back of Troy Banks now. But let's have a look at Korolak's as well. Ooh. That's unfortunate.
Completely missing the back of his car.
Yeah, two unfortunate ways of exiting this Grand Prix, but looking back now, we've got Alyssa in the chat as well, making a decent assumption. Seems like Vance is running lower downforce. I think that's probably correct, as Vance was getting away from Shipley in a straight line, but is now trying to get past Banks, coming up to, I keep forgetting corner names for some reason, up to Blanchimont, and getting past successfully. Now Shipley got through as well on the run up to the bus stop, so both completely passed. And next stop for this train, Jakub Majewski.
The only thing is, Majewski is about 6 seconds up the road. That's a lap car. That's
Yeah.
Bezer.
Yeah, that's Beezer, who, in theory, should be out of the race as he jumped back to pits. So hopefully he gets out of the way nicely, as any lap car should, but probably especially if you're supposed to be DQ'd.
Right. Can we all agree on one thing?
Yeah.
At least they got rid of the dong on the nose of the cars.
Yeah, very true. That was an interesting time for Aero, and I think it was actually found to be pretty dangerous as well because of the height of them.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's another Alex Zanardi waiting to happen. Get your hate mail coming, folks. I got them all day.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing about these cars is that they've just improved safety so much that can have even like a 51G impact and still be completely fine for the next race, a la Max Verstappen at Silverstone in last year's Grand Prix. Yeah, I'll bring that up.
Yeah, I mean that's a very fair assessment. But the biggest concern is that was with the nose that looked like an ugly fish. If you had a side impact just behind the front wheel, it was very easy to puncture that driver tub.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're a sitting duck at that point.
Yeah, since then as well, they've made those. I cannot remember what they call them, but they've made where the drivers sit a lot stronger as well.
Right.
Because we have seen some nasty impacts last year, and the year before as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, I still get nightmares over the fire when the car went through the Armco barriers. Was that Bahrain?
Yeah, I mean, you never want to see a car in half.
No. And what scared everybody even more is the fact that when he tried to climb the wall to get to the marshals who were trying to help him out of the car, the Armco was so hot from the burning fuel that he burned his hands through his gloves.
Yeah. It was insane, but it was obviously great to know that he is out completely fine and all is well now, really.
Now, you want to know the messed up part of that whole scenario?
Go on.
I was living in a care facility at that time because I was still recovering from my motorcycle accident. And nobody wanted to watch the races. Well, somebody was walking by my computer as I was watching the F1 race at the time. And next thing I know, there's a crowd of people who were standing over my shoulder going, "Did that really just happen?" I said, "Yeah, turn it on TV." They flipped over to the race on TV, and we made about 50 Formula One fans out of people that usually did not care at all about racing at that point.
Yeah.
Now, granted, that's a morbid way to do it, because a man almost died, but I take him how I can get him.
Yeah, he lived in the end all as well. Going back to this race, while we were having our nice chat, we did miss the pass for second place. Yakimievsky on Rodrigo Miranda just having DRS down the Kemmel straight into Les Combes, down the inside, getting that done just about clear before the braking zone, and able to sweep past, and he's hoping he'll be able to run away. Has pulled a second gap, so Miranda will not be getting DRS here.
But Shipley might.
Yeah, definitely does. Barnes and Shipley have a new target to try and pounce upon.
And they can see Miranda from where they are.
Morelli has had a spin coming out the bus stop. Ooh, very hot tyres, just trying to get that going again. He might lose this position to Hodson, actually. He's defending the inside line, so just about able to keep that, and does keep it in a straight line coming out on the source as well. We'll see how his Eau Rouge Radion complex goes as well. Yeah, fine through there, but all this puts Hickenbottom right on the back of Hodson, actually.
Those reds look like it might be starting to go away.
Yeah, probably about the time. Not able to make a move, so we will go back to the replay to see what caused Morelli to spin. I have a feeling it's just going to be a bit too early on the power. Yeah, probably a bit aggressive on the power. This car doesn't tend to like you going full throttle in even third gear.
It's because you don't have any downforce generated at that point.
Yeah.
You know, third gear, you're basically crawling at that point.
Yeah, you have to get up to at least 4th gear speeds, and then you can really start to open it up. But, this has also allowed Shanna to get on the back of this small train. Looks like Hickenbottom didn't have a great run through the last corner, so up through Blanchimont, Shanna is catching rapidly. See whether he's going to have enough to make a move at the bus stop chicane. Not going to think about that one. Going to wait for the DRS zones to try and get that one done.
Well, it's his teammates, so...
No, it's not Shanna on Hickenbottom.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm sorry, I had that messed up.
Alright. Let's see. Be able to do here. Hickenbottom also does have DRS, so it's probably going to come down a bit to setup actually. Who has the most downforce? Shanna still able to catch. Actually losing a bit of it in the braking zone as well. So still sitting in 10th position. Well, actually, I didn't notice this. It's the case now of if you finish, you get points.
Yeah. Except for the fact that Bezzer's probably going to get disqualified.
Yeah. So if we take him out of the picture, then everyone in the top 10 gets points. Everyone's in the top 10.
Yeah, there you go.
Be one advantage for the drivers of having a slightly smaller grid size. Looks like Shanna has got a great run here out towards Blanchimont. Going to go round the left-hand side of Hickenbottom, getting the turn, getting the inside line for the corner, getting it done before as well. Hickenbottom catching a bit under braking. Nicholas Morelli has decided to come into the pit lane.
He kind of had to, being on the reds.
Yeah. So that's the first driver to come in for a scheduled pit stop. Let's see what it's going to be. Goes
Looks
up,
like
comes
he's going
down.
on to the medium.
Yeah, on a set of mediums, so might be able to take those to the end. Might be a bit of a stretch, but should be able to, I reckon. Just following along with Vance and Shipley now again, as they've caught 2 seconds to Rodrigo Miranda in the last few laps. So Miranda there looking like a nice target for the both of them. Let's see. Catching by about 0.8 a lap as Miranda hops into the pit lane.
Well then.
Yeah, and
Looks like we are we're seeing about that time that we would expect to see green flag stops. Although with Miranda, it seems like it's a little bit early.
yeah,
He's
maybe a
gonna
bit
probably
early
make it
for
a
him.
2-stop race from here. No, he just went on to the hards.
Well, there you go, as we saw Alexander Shanna getting past Nolan Hodson as well just before Blanchimont. But, yeah, I think Hickenbottom's going to think about coming into the pits fairly soon. Filipic and Mijewski out in the lead of the race are also on the medium tyre, so they'll probably be pitting in, I hazard to say, about 5 laps time, though the safety car would have helped them. And yeah, good point. Filipic has a huge lead, 8 seconds. on his teammate Jakub Miewski.
Well, I mean, the good news, bad news. Good news if you're Igor Filipich, if you do pit before your teammate, you don't have to worry about relinquishing a point to him because it's going to come back around when he has to pit.
Yeah.
You know, if this was scored the same way that like stock car racing is,
Miewski's in. Those fines.
You know, if this is scored the same way that stock car racing is, there's a bonus point for leading a lap. Unfortunately, that's not the case here.
Yeah. Get the bonus point for the fastest lap, which is currently Filipich. As Miewski is out on the hard tyres. Those look like mediums to you, but they are hard tyres, as is Vaughn's. Actually, Rodrigo Miranda right behind Jakub Miewski now, as he's come out the pits. So he's going to have DRS, and he's going to be able to try and make a move into Les Combes. Going to have to go the long way round around the outside. Who's going to be the best under braking? Pretty even. Miewski with that inside line, just going to take the advantage there.
Yeah, Miewski definitely got a good run. Miranda, though, not letting him get away, as Miranda's already got the hots on there. Miewski's still trying to get some heat into those tires. So it's going to be a couple of laps before we really see Miewski come into his own with the hard compounds on.
Yeah, I mean, it's... Obviously, Miranda's already had a couple laps on these, so he's going to have the advantage tyre temperature-wise, as Igor Filipich is now in the pits as well. Probably going to be following the same strategy as his teammate, going onto the hard tyre. Not quite confirmed yet, as something's happened to Jeremy Shipley. He's around just after the bus stop. Take a look back at that one. Coming into the bus stop, everything's okay. On throttle? On throttle. Looping it around, doing a donut and carrying on with his day. As you do. As Filipich is now on the hard tyre.
Well, there's your answer. So the only
With
ones that are
Shipley
not...
directly behind him.
Yeah. It's a great run right there. Again, Shipley does have the heat in the tires, but Filipich not letting him get away. And the only ones not on the hard compounds right now are Hodgson, Morelli, and Hickenbottom.
Well, what Shipley also has is much older tyres. You remember he had that incident at the start of the race. He pitted on lap 2, fitted the hard tyres and got the damage repaired. So he's still going to have to come in, I assume, unless he decides to try and take these tyres all the way, in which case Filipich is probably going to breeze past him again. Because by the end, if he stays on those tyres, they will be dead.
With the pace he's been going, I'm surprised they're not dead already.
Yeah, well, Filipich is trying to show him pace as right onto the back of him, but some strange things going on in the bus stop. I'm not sure why Shipley was so slow out of it.
Just kind of tiptoeing after what happened last lap.
Yeah. He's tiptoeing a lot because he lost 2.3 seconds because of that. As Thomas Vance now sets quick time of the race with a 44.6.
We're seeing some wild things happen here today, Jason.
Yeah, exactly. Miranda's still right on the back of Yakimievsky, going to try and go for a move down the inside at Lecom. Going to be side by side. There's contact. That might have been netcode, actually. I'm not quite sure, but there was definitely wheel-to-wheel contact on the server's end. That sends Miranda around. Vaughn's able to get through on him as well. And I'm interested to see that one again. Let's take a look at it from a top-down view. That's not a top-down view, that is. Just going side by side. Ooh, that was plenty of space between those cars.
Yeah,
That's
I probably
some
could have wheeled my
massive
fat
netcode.
crippled ass between them.
Yeah. Huge, huge netcode, but unfortunately, so is sim racing. That's just how it is. Rodrigo Miranda being from Brazil, not probably not the closest guy in the server to where the servers are physically located.
And for those of you wondering, we're on the Boston server today.
No, there you go. As Filipich now taking back the title of fastest lap with a 44.4 on those hard tyres. Obviously, time's still dropping as they're losing fuel out of those cars.
Yeah, that's one thing we've been able to watch over the last couple of weeks is, you know, no matter what tire compound you're on, lighter weight means faster lap times regardless.
Yeah. Yeah, that is exactly how it is. It's everything just sort of settling down a bit here as everyone is running through their second stint, apart from Troy Banks, actually. He's still to pit. He's gone half the distance on those hard tyres, probably still a decent amount of life left in them, but Tony, what do you say we go for a short break?
That sounds like an awesome idea, my friend.
Cool, we will be back in a few minutes after a few words from Jones Racing Setups and a couple more. See you then.
Drivers that took time, all of them within 3.5 tenths of each other tonight is going to be a very closely competitive race.
As the field works its way out of the 3-4 complex, the only thing that's left to say is wipe the visor, adjust the 5-point safety harness, because race fans, it's showtime!
Amazing looking cars already. Green flag will fly.
Oh, they're wrecking! Well, one thing that you're going to see at this track that we haven't seen the last few weeks is a surface that's multi-group. I think this is the first multi-group surface we're going to have.
After an amazing race at Daytona, we now come to the West Coast and Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California for the second round of the Way She Goes Racing League Cup Series.
And we are back. That was a quick word from Jones Racing Setups. If you're in need for some good setups for, I believe, ovals. I had a look. I don't believe they have road setups just yet, but
Mostly
great.
paved oval, yeah.
Yeah, great paved oval setups. Then that is your place to go. Thomas Vaughan's just getting past Troy Banks. Mijewski looks like he got past recently as well. Let's take a look at Mijewski's pass first. That's through Blanchimont. That's side by side through Blanchimont. See on the run down to the bus stop there, and
Yeah, it's pretty ballsy.
yeah, absolutely. And take a look at Thomas Vaughan's. Trying to move down the inside of Lecom and getting that done pretty cleanly under braking. So lovely move from both of them.
But yeah, the rest of the field right now pretty much strung out like a methadone clinic. Your closest battle on track is going to be between Majewski and Varnes right now.
Yep, it is. As Varnes still charging back up through the pack to now only one position behind where he started this race. As I think Troy Banks is going to think about pitting soon, because those tyres are probably not enjoying this too much. Barnes is right on the back of Mijewski going up over his radio, and he's going to get it done before the DRS opens. Opens DRS, just trying to power away from Mijewski. Mijewski using a bit of ERS by the looks of things to try and keep up, but not going to be enough to move back through. And there you go, Varnes third, Mijewski fourth.
Majewski had a incident, or a mistake coming up through Eau Rouge, and it really cost him, and Varnes was able to capitalize.
Yeah, so great driving there from him, but Mijewski still keeping up very well through this middle section of the track. It's the more tight and twisty section, so keeping up with considering the aerodynamics of these cars is no mean feat.
Well, I think somebody hit the nail on the head earlier in the live chat that, or I think, no, it was you that said it, that Varnes might be on a little bit different aero package or aero trim than the rest of the field, and
yeah,
it's really showing dividends through the twisty bits.
Well, I mean, through those tight corners in Sector 2 and some of Sector 3, he's losing time, but you can see, we'll actually see it running down the Camel Straight this time around, that he just seems to be able to stay ahead of someone even when they're running with the RS open. It's quite incredible, actually. He's probably using quite a lot of the RS when he did it as well. But look at this, Mijewski is going to have DRS here. Gap's going to be 5/10 at the start. You'd expect this to be falling a bit quicker than this. You'd probably be nearly alongside now. Only getting about 2/10 on that DRS straight. That's not being that powerful against Thomas Vaughan's.
Yeah, absolutely is. You know, these guys are just going after it right now, hammer and tongs. Between the two of them, it's just a slugfest, and this is the type of racing that we love to see. Is when it's, you know, a chess match at 175 miles an hour.
Yeah, exactly. Just waiting to see what happens next. Looks like Hodson's just getting past Hickenbottom once again. Clearly swapped back around in the pit stop phase, but Hodson's back through once more.
Oh, big wiggle out of... Majewski almost got into the back of Barnes as Shipley goes pit side.
Yeah, I saw that was a close one. We'll see if I can get a replay up for that one. I might have to do a bit of rewinding. Unfortunately, go back in time a little bit there.
Unfortunately, I'll be right back.
That's no worries, as Majewski just braking a bit too late and having to go off track back onto the track. That's going to lose him quite a lot of time. In fact, that's lost him about 2 seconds to Thomas Vance, so very much so out of touch as far as DRS is concerned. But Igor Filipic up at the front now with an 11-second lead. So he's doing very well, just coming through campus now. It's grab an onboard shot. See if I can see exactly why he's doing so well. And it's probably just going to look very clean from him. That's how it tends to be. Still amazing to me how late you can brake in these cars. Coming off from that, something's happened to Morelli. He's jumped to the pits. Grab an off-board camera. Ooh, just on the exit of Les Combes. That's losing it on the curb, and he has only there 2 wheels on his wagon. And that's going to be him out of the race as well, unfortunately, on lap 28 of 44. So we won't be seeing any more of Morelli. Here is Hodson getting back past Hickenbottom once again. I didn't actually see when those two swapped once again, but Hodson once again back through. And I think this battle is going to continue on for basically the rest of the race. They seem to be pretty matched in pace, and yeah, you are right. The whole car just seemed to deconstruct for Morelli. I mean, you hit the wall and everything falls off. That's track limits for Hodson. That's might even be a slowdown. I'm not sure how good this track is for those, but that was definitely an off track. As here side by side, actually, coming out of Pouhon. That caught me by surprise a bit. Hickenbottom and Hodson. With Hickenbottom getting back past again. Not sure as to exactly why. Have a bit of a rewind here. So Hodson for some reason just not on the line. Having to slow down a lot more to take the corner. Sticks right to the inside, and Hickenbottom just flies through. Meanwhile, Banks has come into the pits. And he has put on a set of medium tyres. Will easily be able to get him to the end of the race. But this battle between teammates is your closest one on track so far. As it stands on lap 29 of 44, we have Filipich at the front, and then Varnes, Mievski, Miranda and Shipley rounding out your top 5. Then it's Shanna, Banks, Hickenbottom and Hodson to round off the field. Jacob Beezer is showing us a lap down, but he did come out of the pits after returning to garage, and Morelli in the pits has returned to garage from on track as well. Take a little look at the driver's eye of this number 75 here. As he tries to chase after his teammate. Not sure how accurate the ERS deployment mode we're seeing is there, but shows that he is in attack. They're getting a good run through La Source and up Eau Rouge and Radion. Going to have the DRS wide open. You can see there with the 4 green lights on the steering wheel. He's going to pull out to the right hand side. Have a go under braking into Les Combes and get once again around his teammate. These guys have been battling very well. Been great to see just this back and forth between these two. Hopefully we will have Tony back in, well, just shortly. But having a look here, Rodrigo Miranda is being caught at a rapid pace by his teammate Jeremy Shipley, and in fact Shipley is through with a DRS overtake on the Camel Straight. So Shipley trying to make a run back up through the field, but he's got 8 seconds to catch Jakub Mievski, and he's got 13 laps to do it. So it'll be interesting to see whether he's able to make up that ground. Let's have a look. Looks like Troy Banks is catching Alexander Shanna. Something I didn't notice actually, Shanna is still on those tyres from lap 2 when he pitted at the start.
Looks like he is.
Welcome back.
Thank you, sir. But yeah, Shanna's still rocking the original rubbers that he changed to after the incident on the first corner.
Yeah, that's probably not going to be helping his lap time all too much, though. Saying that, he's considering he's on the hard tyre and they're basically the entire race distance old. He's only 2 seconds a lap slower than Shipley, who's on 5 lap old mediums. So
That's impressive.
It firmly could be worse.
Oh yeah, no, we've seen it much worse. And the fact that Shipley reset quick time of the race with a 1:43.898. He wants that bonus point.
Yeah. It's definitely wanting to get that extra point for the fastest lap. I don't think anyone's going to be in the position to pull off a late pit stop onto softs to try just have a run at that fastest lap point.
Well, it's definitely not like we had at Monza.
Yeah.
Or Circuit of the Americas, for that matter.
I mean, the gaps, while they're not in overtaking distance, they're also not in the range that they're able to pit and still come out in the same position they were. So,
right,
not worth going for that fastest lap point for anyone.
Yeah, I mean, especially considering when you figure the delta from pit in to pit out is right around 31 seconds.
Yeah.
You'd be crazy to even attempt it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, if Troy Banks doesn't manage to get past Shanna, then that could actually be a shout. Or if Shanna has to pit right at the end, then Banks may be the only one who would be able to pull off that strategy. But still 11 laps to go, so I have to wait and see what they do in the end.
And if you like the racing that you're seeing here today, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on bell notifications so you don't miss a single moment of action, as this is race number 1 of the quadruple header today. You're, of course, watching the iFormula IF1 series, round number 8 here at Spa-Francorchamps, the Belgian Grand Prix. Coming up next, we will have the ISNF Cup Series, and let me just double check to see where we are going to be with that one.
We're going to be at Gateway for that one.
We are going to be at Gateway.
And then...
And I used all my sick days up. Oh, darn.
Then
at 7:25, we have the Fired Up Esports League, round 1 of their playoffs from Circuit of the Americas. And then the nightcap will be the Sunday Night NASCAR DBR 250, the Trish's Hope 250 from Talladega tonight. So you don't want to miss a single moment of action. I do want to thank everybody for checking in the live chat.
Yeah, we've got quite a lot of Talladega, actually, because tomorrow we've got cleanracing.net. They are also at Talladega, starting at 8:30 Eastern.
Absolutely. And then on Tuesday night, we have the All-American Racing League Trucker Street America Cup Series. That will be the John E. Anderson 200 from Homestead, Miami. That's a 7:50 start on that one. And then the nightcap on Tuesday will be Western States Racing League. But Jason, you've got the first race of the day on Tuesday.
Yeah, absolutely. Noon EST for Night Shift Racing League. We're going to be at Las Vegas. So
always a fun run at Vegas.
Yeah, they're going to be shipping me over to Nevada to watch that one.
Well, just don't make the same mistake that a teammate of mine made the first time we went to Vegas, and drop $400 between the time you get off the plane and the time you hit baggage claim.
That's impressive, actually.
Some of those one-armed bandits.
Thank you, Alyssa, for confirming that dashboard is pretty static for the spectators. That's unfortunate. Would love to be able to see what ERS mode they're in, how many changes they have left. Troy Banks here, now right on the back of Alex Shanna. But coming through Sector 2, not many overtaking opportunities unless you get a great run out of a corner where the car in front basically has no run at all.
Well, they're getting to that point where even without DRS, drafting help will come into play.
Yeah. Banks is very close as we're going to be coming through Curve Paul Frere, and here we go, side by side here, going up towards Blanchimont. Are they going to stay too wide through the corner? Absolutely they are. Troy Banks sweeping around the outside as Shanna pulls out of that one at the last minute. So great move there for him.
Shanna kind of did the right thing there. He didn't want to put the car in jeopardy, especially with 8 laps to go.
Yeah, I mean, we're very close to the end now, so you don't really want to be doing anything that's going to cost you. And if you happen to have a crash, that'll definitely cost you.
Yeah, absolutely. As the two teammates of Hodgson and Higginbottom going after it again.
Yeah, these two have basically been glued together for the entire race. It's been great to watch. Higginbottom not on the softs, as it shows on my screen. He is on the mediums, Hodgson on the hards.
Higginbottom's on the mediums, Bezer's on the softs.
Yes, yeah. As we'll see what type of run Higginbottom gets through Eau Rouge and Radion. Coming up to the DRS straight, about 6/10 behind, so probably not going to be able to get anything done into Lacon this time around. But definitely going to get a lot closer than he was. Just about halving that gap.
Yeah, absolutely, you know. Oh.
Looked for it.
He was thinking about it. He was definitely thinking about it.
Maybe a move I'd make on my rival, not so much my teammate. And I think he had the same idea as me in the end.
Yeah, that sounds about right, because, you know, there's always those two team rules that are paramount to being on a team. One is try not to kill each other, and rule number 2 is if you are going to kill each other, make damn sure it's a Sports Center highlight.
Yeah, at least make it free advertising if you do. As Higginbottom losing a lot of ground. Now and after Paul Frere through Blanchimont, so I'm not sure why that was. As still losing time. It seems to be when he's accelerating, he's just losing a lot of time. Fuel problems? No. Or is Hodgson just absolutely dumping the ERS?
I think Hodgson's completely dumping the ERS on corner exit.
Yeah, that would make sense, as that's massive gains there for him, but that's just going to mean he's not going to have any left. Higginbottom may well catch up, and if he does, then unfortunately Hodgson's going to be in trouble because he's not going to have any ERS left to defend with. as Shanna does pull into the pit lane. Probably going to be setting some softs on that.
Safe bet.
See if he can steal that fastest lap point away from Shipley at the moment, has it? And yep, it is the soft tyre.
The good news is Shanna's not going to lose time to Hodgson and Hickenbottom, as they're just coming up to the bus stop now.
Yeah, he definitely had a big enough gap to go in and used it nicely. But in the end, you'll see those deltas change. Remember, Troy Banks was ahead of Shanna before the tyre change, so maybe he'll be able to come in, sneak a pit stop, and try and compete for that fastest lap.
We'll see what happens. But if you're Hodgson and Higginbottoms, you got to be looking in your rearview mirror and seeing that green machine getting ever closer. That is your race leader, Igor Filipic.
Yeah, and you can see there, just staying on that shot, Thomas Barnes not coming through Eau Rouge Radion for us to see. That's how big that gap is. That's what 12 seconds is. It's a large gap. Filipic pulling out an amazing gap, but to be fair, Thomas Barnes having a great race to get back up to second.
Oh yeah, that's
after being
short of
near
miraculous.
last after turn one.
Yeah, that's nothing short of miraculous that he's been able to claw back up through the field. And he did it on 2 sets of hard tires.
Yeah.
That's the scary part.
As Filipic makes his way past Hickenbottom.
Thinking about him exploiting track limits to make sure he gets out of the way of the leader. Now Hodgson, what's he going to do as they come into the bus stop? It's going to pinch Filipic behind him. Filipic, though, going to have DRS here.
I would assume he'd get out of the way soon enough. Blue flag rules, you have to get out of the way, and
There
we
it
had
is.
a bit of a lock-up into La Source, and just let him through there. Really not ideal for Hickenbottom, as he lost quite a lot of time out of that exchange, and it still looks like Hodgson managing to dump PRS. I don't know whether he's just added an extra battery or whether it's just because he's behind Filipic now that he's able to just hold on in a straight line.
So what are you saying? He's
Probably
driving a
explains most of
Ferrari?
it. Huh?
Are you saying he's driving a Ferrari? Ha, you see what I did there? You didn't think I knew about that little trick.
The old burning oil.
No, the whole having another battery on the car that would have a higher wattage output than the battery that was being tested.
Ah, yeah. Maybe some extra battery storage on that car, as Shanna
There
does
it
set
is.
the fastest
There
time
it is.
of the race. 43.2. That's going to be pretty hard to beat for anyone, as Filipic's last lap was 45, sure, a bit held up by traffic, but everyone else now in roughly in the mid 44s, so I don't think we're going to be seeing that lap beaten. If we are, it's probably going to be by himself.
If it's anybody other than than Shanna right now, it's gonna take a monster, and
Yeah.
they're gonna be right on the ragged edge when they do it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, to be honest, probably not a risk worth it for any of these guys, because they're going to have to push the card so hard that it's just going to risk putting yourself into a barrier. That's probably not, definitely not worth it with 3 laps to go in this race once Filipich crosses the line.
Yeah, that would just be a bad idea waiting to happen.
But that means it's running out of time for those drivers who are trying to catch and take another position. So it's Majewski on Vons and Hickenbottom back once again on his teammate Hodgson, as Majewski getting a bit loose out of No Name. We call it No Name. I believe it does have some sort of name now.
Thought it was always called No Name.
I just can't remember what it is.
Well,
Either way.
let me go look that up for you.
Yeah, turn 11. But Majewski making decent progress on Vons this lap, actually. As we can have a look there, Majewski has been slowly reeling Vons in. It's going to have to be a bit quicker than he's been doing it so far, but he is getting there. We'll see the gap this time around dropping by 0.4 of a second as Majewski sets his quickest lap of the race.
It is called No Name.
Okay, go.
Quickly after Brussels comes turn 11, which randomly doesn't have a name.
Alyssa says Speaker's Corner because you can apparently see it from the old Speaker's box. Sure.
Okay.
Why not? But keep looking at Majewski here, as he is most definitely catching up to Thomas Vons, so he's going to try and make it a 1-2 for Pleb Racing here. He's nearly within a second. I hazard to think he probably will be within a second once we get to the technically last DRS zone of the lap. See where he is in relation as we come into the braking zone of the bus stop. Is he going to be within a second?
He's going to have to send it going to the bus stop to do
I
it.
think he is in the detection point within a second.
Watch for the wing
no.
to open. Nope, no wing open. So he's going to have to wait till the top of Radion.
Yeah, absolutely. And Vons locking up a bit there into La Source, so that's definitely going to allow Majewski to get at him. As that's not going to be a great run for him, but obviously the lower downforce setup that we reckon he has is going to help him here. They might actually catch Hickenbottom and Hodgson here as well, so that's going to get something into the mix. Majewski just catching up with DRS on the second to last lap. And it's all coming together to look like we could have a last lap battle here between Majewski and Vons for second place.
Yeah, absolutely. That is your closest battle on track, and this is what we've come to expect out of these guys in this league: is late race, tight racing. You know, and it's going to be all out, hammer down.
Yep, absolutely. White flag is in the air for Igor Filipich. Going to be his last lap as Hickenbottom gets out the way of both of them. Majewski, in theory, will have DRS here. Yeah, there you go. rear wing wide open. It's a very short DRS zone because the short start finish straight, but it doesn't look like he's going to be close enough here to get anything out of Vans. In fact, Vans may have DRS off of the lap car ahead of him. I don't think Miejski just about has DRS.
He had
Does
it.
Vans
It's
have
open.
it? Vans doesn't have it. Off of Hodson in front of him. But it's still going to have to be an absolutely blinding rest of the lap here for Miejski to be able to catch up with Thomas Vans. 7 tenths between them. But with the lap car 8th place Nolan Hodson almost decide this as to where he gets out the way of the both of them. Vans is wanting him to get out of the way as soon as possible. In fact, looks like he's being held up a bit here. With those aerodynamics, you can't follow very closely. Looks like he's getting out of the way now of both of them. But Miejski's not going to have a run into the bus stop as Igor Filipic comes across the line to win the Belgian Grand Prix in the iFL1 series. Vans and Miejski taking the bus stop for the final time, and it's going to be Vans in second place with Miejski in third. And we're just waiting Jeremy Shipley to cross the line as well. Comes home in fourth. Rodrigo Miranda just now rounding Blanchimont. So he's going to come home in fifth. Alex Shanna still with the fastest lap of the race, so he's going to get that extra point here. Has a good fifth place there for Rodrigo Miranda. Troy Banks gonna come home in sixth, and last car on track we're going to be waiting for Alexander Shanna on those soft tyres. Who ends up with the fastest lap, as I said. Taking that away from Jeremy Shipley after he pitted onto soft tyres on lap 37. And there we go, rounding the bus stop for the final time. And there it is. That was your race.
What a race it turned out to be. I mean, we saw a lot of things that we normally don't see in this series. And for starters, safety car on lap 1.
Yeah. It's very interesting when that happens, as it can throw everything on its head, and it pretty much did. I mean, Vans could well have been in the lead from the start, but unfortunately, Shipley getting it a bit wrong at the start in turn 1, which ultimately I think cost him more than it cost anyone else. But seen there how it's ended with Filipic, Vans and Miejski on the podium, and actually we are joined now by our winner, Igor Filipic. Hello.
Hello.
So overall a pretty good win out there. How do you think it went for you?
Oh, I got extremely lucky. I saw Shipley had a bad start, then I guess looked up going into turn 1, and I was just praying, don't hit me, don't hit me. Luckily I avoided that, and it was smooth sailing to the end.
Yeah, it was a really interesting restart as well, that safety car speed. There's got to be something done about that. But
yeah, exactly. The tires were at like 45 to 50 degrees, and
yeah,
I had no confidence.
Yeah, well, you were right to be tiptoeing around for that first lap, but overall, no problems for you really. It was a great race in the end. Tony, do you have any thoughts?
Well, I mean, you had a great race, sir. Congratulations on yet another win on the season. My only question is, are you prepared for what's coming on May 1st with the Northern Grand Prix?
May 1st. Is it?
Round 9, May 1st, the Northern Grand Prix.
Oh no. That's too quick. I need to learn the track.
That answers my question. Best of luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
We will then hear from. Should we go for second place?
Sounds good.
I will let you grab this one, Tony. We have second place Thomas Barnes with us now.
Thomas Barnes, one of the best recovery drives I have ever seen in any platform of racing. Congratulations on a podium, sir.
Thank you. It was an interesting race to say the least. I just got a chance to go back and see what happened in turn 1 of lap 1. Kind of an unfortunate accident. Can't really fault him for, just running out of room on me. He locked up the rears. We make mistakes. It happens. So, yeah, I was fortunate enough to come back. I was a little worried about Mayuski behind me. I was seeing the gap, and then the last 4 laps started to close fairly quickly on me, and was just trying to make sure that I could stay out in front.
Yeah, absolutely, and very understandable. At least you were able to go back and look and agree that was just a racing incident gone wrong. But yeah, I mean, just the recovery drive that you had coming up through the field, getting to race side by side with some of the guys that someone with your normal pace doesn't get to see race in and race out. What was it like coming up through the field like that?
Each one was a little bit different. I remember there was I can't remember if who exactly it was there, but I was following Miyuski, and we were coming up. We both had DRS on someone, or no, he had just gotten around them. I can't remember. But each one was a different challenge of making sure I knew where I could overtake, because you could definitely tell, or at least I could. We were running different aero packages between the different cars, so trying to pick a spot of this is a safe overtake. I feel like going too wide through it's that corner before the bus stop, where it's just flat out. Some of the people I would feel comfortable with, others I would not. So
Fair enough.
it's picking and choosing my battles, more or less.
At any time, did you ever think of going back onto the mediums, or were you going to stay on hards from the word go after that crash?
Well, so the first pit stop I did put mediums back on the car, and I thought about putting hards on and then doing a pit stop back to mediums. I just felt a little bit more comfortable with the fuel load being on mediums with the higher load. Simply because of all the testing that I did. I never really enjoy how the car feels on hards and full fuel. So I figured I had a better chance of, getting in the pits during that safety car and getting a new set of mediums on and going at my normal pit stop strategy from there. I did I did plan on boxing one lap, but car in front of me went in. I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna box opposite of them, just to see if an overcut or an undercut would work, which unfortunately it didn't work as well as I wanted it to. However, I was able to come back and secure a P2.
Yeah, absolutely, and a great job that you had. Jason, do you have anything for Thomas?
Only thing is my congratulations on the second place. It was a great recovery drive in the end, and second place is never a bad place to finish anyway. So congratulations.
Yes, thank you very much.
We will see you next week, sir.
Thanks.
So then, the final driver to interview is third place finisher Yakomievsky. Hello.
Hello. How are you doing?
So, yeah, I'm pretty good. How are you?
Good. Bit gassed after the race. That was intense.
Yeah, that was a great finish at the end. Just about couldn't get onto the back of Vons. What are your thoughts on that?
I just needed one more lap. That's what I think. But yeah, Thomas was great at defending. Like I got into the DRS range, but I just couldn't get any closer, and we just ended up like that. Really good racing.
Yeah, I think in the end we didn't actually end up seeing much of you during the race. It was only really tense towards the end. It was quite lonely for you.
Indeed, it was, because I tried an undercut onto the hards because the mediums started feeling a bit worse than they should, even though they, I think they were like 79% wear, so still plenty of life in there, but it just didn't feel like that. But that undercut worked, and I came out still ahead of Rodrigo. I just cruised to the end until I saw an opportunity to get back at Thomas, but yeah, it wasn't enough.
Yeah, well, third place is still a great place to finish, and congratulations with that, Tony. Do you have any thoughts?
Just a great drive from the word go. You and Igor are an amazing team, and the fact that you guys work as well together as you do is very seldom seen in any form of motorsport. But the fact that you two seem to work as well together as you do is amazing to watch.
Thank you. We do communicate quite a bit, and with help from Ava, our engineer, as well, who just relays information about other drivers and such. At the beginning of the season, we were hoping to fight with each other for the prize. Right now, I relegated myself by binning it a few times to be sort of a Perez to Igor's Verstappen, but we're doing what we can to get the best out of every race.
Very well, sir, and we will see you next week at the Northern Grand Prix.
For sure, thank you.
Well, that just about rounds us out for another great race in the iFormula iFL1 League. That was round 8 at Spa-Francorchamps. Next week is going to be round 9 at Watkins Glen. So a track that these cars aren't used to. What are your thoughts going to that?
I was about to ask where the Northern Grand Prix was, but yeah, now you guys are coming into my backyard.
Yeah.
I live about 30 minutes from the Glen. And the fact that we're going to see Formula One cars at pace, under anger, throttling it out at the Glen one more time, and having the new engines echo across the Finger Lakes, I'm looking forward to next week.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure the drivers are as well. It's going to be a new challenge for every single one of them because, to be honest, I don't think any of them would have thought to take F1 cars around there before, but it was what was voted for by the drivers as it was a mystery at the start of the season, but obviously now we know, so make sure to tune in next week for that. And if you still want
so much history there.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll maybe start a bit earlier next time to go through some of it. I think that's probably a nice idea.
That sounds like a grand idea, yeah.
Yeah. You'll have quite a lot of knowledge on that, I'm sure. But
and I will dig up some more this week.
Yeah. If anyone out there watching still wants more racing, I'm sure you do. We've got 3 more races for you tonight. So first off is going to be myself and Tony once again. for the ISNF Cup Series at Gateway. We're going to be starting at about 5:45 EST. Then we've got the Fired Up Esports League with their first race of the playoffs at Circuit of the Americas at 7:25. And rounding us out will be Sunday Night NASCAR at Talladega starting at 8:25. But I think that is about it for us, Tony.
Absolutely, Jason, and it's always a pleasure when I can get in the booth with you for one of these Formula One races because, me being a relative rookie in the Formula One aspect of things, especially modern Formula One, it's really great to be able to trade places with you as far as being able to impart knowledge upon me as far as what's going on with these cars.
Yeah. Yeah, and same with me. It's great to be with you on the Oval broadcasts, as we will be seeing in just under an hour's time. But when you have you're the one with the closing sequence normally.
Oh, okay. Well, for Mr. Jason Stafford, this is Tony Trapassa reminding you, ladies and gentlemen, that as you walk down the road of life, don't play in traffic.